One of the reasons that I like the SPF application is it's waterproof as opposed to a single ply, which is water shedding. The other thing is, let's just take for instance, let's say we have a 200 square gravel ballast roof and it couldn't get approved. I mean, we've all heard that before when it comes to the built up roofing systems. Well, you know, then you got one contractor who wants to sweep off the pea gravel and then go on top with a mechanically fastened recovery board and then either do a mechanically fastened single ply membrane or a fully adhered single ply membrane. Well, in my opinion, and I think you guys would agree with me, I hate warranty claims. Nobody likes putting on a roof, having a rainstorm, and then getting a phone call right away, and then that relationship and rapport that you've built is already, they get a little skeptical when you get leaks right away. Now, the thing with that is you can't take a large roofing system and mechanically fasten a bunch of single ply to it and have all those seams and not have something fail in the beginning. And the reason being is, if you look at an NDL warranty, those warranties don't even kick in effect where they're held by the manufacturer until after the first 24 months. Meaning that they know that all the problems are gonna happen and have to get filtered out in the first 24 months. So we have a single ply, which we're gonna drill a ton of screw holes into this individual structure, and then we're gonna put a bunch of seams on it, and none of it's waterproof. So we're gonna have possible leaks from the screws, we're gonna have possible leaks from the failing seams, and then what happens if we get collateral damage? Well, we get collateral damage, then we get content damage because it fractures the membrane and it begins to go in the building. Most of the time, if you've ever gone inside a building with leaks, you look at the walls and it's coming down the walls, coming down the curbs, coming from the pitch pans, things of that nature. Okay, well, what happens if we were to do a fluid applied restoration? Well, we'd go on there, we'd wet vac it or dry vac it, depending on what needs to be done. And then we put some thermo primer on there to promote good adhesion. We'd go back over the top of that with about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches of SPF. We'll go on top of that with an elastomeric. Elastomeric is going to be any type of coating with elasticity. That could be acrylic, it could be silicone, anything like that. So foam, let's dial into the foam. So foam, SPF stands for spray polyurethane foam. We use a 2.8 pound closed cell foam product that is completely waterproof as opposed to a water shedding as soon as it comes out of the gun. So we have an enclosed trailer with two 55-gallon drums. One is an A compound, one is a B compound. As soon as it goes through that hose, there's a release from the tip of that gun. It hits, it immediately cures, rises, and becomes waterproof. Now it's closed cell. So when we think of foam, sometimes we think of interior foam. You're in a house, you grab it, it's squishy. This stuff, you can hit it with a hammer. That's how hard it is. Give you an example. I brought some here. So that foam, you can see it's very hard. Now this isn't the exact millage or anything that you're gonna see on the roofs. This is just an example for you to see, but that stuff comes out, you can beat it with a hammer. So now we have, back to the single ply. We drilled a bunch of holes, we put a bunch of seams, we're probably going to have some leaks. Then the foam. We waterproofed everything as opposed to water shedding. If it gets hit with any type of collateral damage before we have content damage, it can't go all the way through. So they have zero content damage. So then what do? We scarify the top of it off. So we'll come through, almost looks like a lawnmower. They're pushing on the roof. We'll cut off whatever needs to be cut off depending on how far the hail penetrated into the waterproofing agent. We'll relay a little bit of foam and we'll put some elastomeric on the top of it. Now with that being said, working with me, you guys will be selling that product retail to your customers probably in the 3s. Xactimate pays 6.5. So insurance, you'll more than double your money. If you're in retail, you'll still probably do anywhere between $1 to $1.50 a square foot, depending on the job circumstance. And this is what I mean when I say that. For my model to fit good, in the DFW area, it needs to be 70 to 100 squares. If you got me going out far, as long as it's over 150 to 200 squares, that's fine, but just think there's gonna be some costs in there, some lodging costs, some per diem type costs that are gonna be there, so obviously keep that in mind. But the price point and what you can do for the individuals is significantly better than what you can do with single ply. Now, I do single ply the same way turnkey too, but you can be the greatest roofer in the world and you're probably still gonna have some leaks. So just remember that. I said it in the beginning, like, oh, he reminded me, and if you go with it and we have some leaks, we'll get it taken care of. It is what it is.